Hey guys, Twins of Destruction here, and to start out with this tutorial, I'm going to be making the jacket. And what I did was, I bought some army green color fabric, and I laid a shirt down on top of it. Now, you can see this is double-sided. The fold is right there, so it's double-sided, so whenever this gets traced and cut out, because this shirt fits me well. It fits nice and snug, comfortably. Whenever it gets traced and cut out, and then sewn together and flipped inside out, it will be the shape of the shirt. So what I'm gonna do is make sure, one last check that this is evenly put on, trace around the edges, make whatever design I want down here, because a World War II jacket goes a little bit farther, so you just want to extend on and trace all the way around up by your neck, and then while it's still folded, cut it out. Now that you traced the thing, the template, I made mine go, I measured from my waist to about my thigh, which is about that much. So I'm going to make it come down that much, so I extended it on both sides. Now I'm going to make sure both these are lined up. I'm going to take this shirt off, make sure both of these are lined up, and cut this out. And note, the sleeves are not supposed to be on this, so those are going to be made on a separate piece of fabric. Alright, so I'm going to cut it across here to make that. And actually what I'm going to do is just cut it up there and just make it even, and then I'm just gonna sew down this line because it's only that much and I can deal with the slack, and that'll just be seam allowance. Now what you're going to want to do is make a line directly up the middle. Just even, you can lay your template back down and make a line directly up the middle, and then cut only one side. So just cut this front side to make it like a button-down shirt. Next, what you're going to want to do is fold this outside like this, just as little as you can. And you're folding it outside because in the end, you're just going to flip this inside out, which is why you sewn this on the outside and the shoulders. So because of that, remember to keep everything opposite, because you're just going to flip it inside out at the end and it will look all clean on the outside. So on both sides all the way up, sew or glue as little as you can, just to make that seam look nice and conformed on the other side. After you sew the front seam down, the next step I'm going to do is make the sleeves. I did this by taking the original shirt, laying it down on some more fabric just at where the shoulder ends, and then just laying it flat. Again, make sure your fabric is 2 layers to it, so whenever you trace this out and then cut it out, you'll have both sides of your sleeve. So again, just layer this out by your shoulder and trace it out and cut it. Then when it's done being traced, cut it out. Now, once you have cut out one sleeve, you can go and trace the next one. Now that both of these are cut out, take them to the sewing machine, or you can glue them with fabric glue, hot glue. But what you're going to want to do is somehow attach the edges along this side and this side. Be sure to skip these. I know it seems kind of stupid for me to say that, but everybody messes up. You might miss these and you're not going to be able to get your arm through the hole. So just pay attention. It's easy to just go right through and just close it all up, but then you can't get your arm through the hole. So just this side and just that side. So just the long sides. So this is what the seam edge should look like after you're done sewing it. And then you would flip it inside out. Then it would look like this. See on the inside. So this is the outside on both sides, both seams. So it should look nice, neat, and clean. So the next thing you're going to do is lay both these sleeves out onto the shirt and bring some pins because it's time to attach them. So to start attaching the shoulders onto the coat, it could be a little confusing because it's just a weird concept. First off, make sure everything, the sleeves, the coat, everything is turned inside out. Everything. So what you sewn earlier, this is inside out, the shoulders are inside out, on the sleeves, the seams are inside out. Just make sure everything, because it makes everything so much easier in the long run. So you're going to want to start out by leaving both flat, just like kind of next to each other. And then put the sleeve inside. Basically make the top match the top of the coat and then the bottom match the bottom. So like I did over here. So this is the top of the sleeve, this is the top of the coat. If you go in between what I've attached here, there is the inside of the coat and the sleeve. So what I did on both sides, I basically picked up the top of the coat and the sleeve, pinched them together, and pinned them. So on both sides, it looks like a lift, like a triangle kind of thing. So what you're going to want to do is glue, sew, whatever, just along that line. Just all the way down, and then flip it over, then do the same on the other side. And then when you flip it inside out, the sleeve should be ready. So, like I said over here, tough to do with one hand, sorry guys. But, so you're going to take the top and the top. And you're just going to pinch them together and just lift them both up. So it's kind of like this. Like you're just pinching them together. You're lifting them both up. See, so like I did just right there, this sleeve isn't even attached yet. But over here, so there's the sleeve, the top of the sleeve, and the top of the jacket are pinched together. And then I will be sewing right along that line. And then you just remove the pins as you sew. So just do that all the way down. Just take your time, make it even, make sure they're next to each other. Just go like this and just pin it all along the edge. Then when you get to the bottom, just flip it over and then do the other side. Alright guys, now that your sleeves are done, it's time to move on to the details of the coat. And that would be like adding the buttons to button it up, the pockets, and the cover for the buttons, because I'm going to add just like a thin piece of fabric that goes down the uniform that like it covers up the buttons. So yeah, you could start out by going out and buying buttons and then lining them up evenly, and also looking at pictures, lining them up so they'll fit along the jacket. So these are the kind of buttons I got. It doesn't really matter what kind you get, but I'm just going for these kind. So I lined the buttons up as even as possible, and I'm going to sew them on to that side. So this is what it should look like after you have sewn on all of the buttons. I actually changed it to 4 instead of 6. It just works out better for me. So after I put it on, I realized I am going to need more buttons. Just a couple of them. But here it is anyway. I really like the look of this. I think this looks awesome. But I'm just going to add next, I'm going to be making the pockets. Alright guys, to make the pocket, I started out, this is about 6 to 7 inches. I made a square. Make sure it's still double-sided, and you're just going to cut that out. So after you make 4 pockets that were doubled, what you're going to need to do is make 4 of these. These are going to be the openings, but do not make these doubled. You can double them to make more patterns, but just make them 1. So I'm going to have to make 2 more. Now that you have all these shapes cut out, what you're going to do is take this off, take these to the sewing machine or glue it all around the edges except for this top. Except for the top. No top. After you finish the pockets, place buttons down in the corresponding places and sew them on this side. So you put the buttons here, just wherever they. The last thing I need to do for the pockets is to cut the buttonholes on the top and fit them in so they work as actual pockets. Once you have secured your pockets down and they're just like that, you could take them to the sewing machine. You can hand sew them, you can glue them, and just get that edge down right there, that edge. To get the pockets on, what I did was put them in the right position, and I'm just going to pin them directly to the shirt So then whenever you attach them, you can just, that line right there. So like if you're using glue, just put glue right along there and then attach it. So these pins, wherever you put them, will keep it in place, and then put them on all 4 pockets. Alright guys, this is the final jacket for the World War II assassin. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you in the next video.